If you've been hurt in a crash or because of someone else's negligence, one of the biggest questions on your mind is probably, what's my case worth? I'm going to give you the lawyer answer. It depends. But today I'm going to break it down so you understand exactly what goes into determining the value of any case. I'm Lloyd Bourgeois, a personal injury attorney, and I help injured folks just like you get the financial justice they deserve after a crash. In this video, I'll walk you through the different types of damages we see in lawsuits, how they're calculated, and what impacts the value of any case so that you can be prepared when dealing with insurance companies. So first, what are damages? Damages are the financial compensation paid to an injured person by the at-fault party or their insurance company. The legal system can't undo what happened. It can't take away the crash. It can't take away the pain. It can't restore your health. But what the legal system can do is require the responsible party to pay for the harm that they caused you. This is how the law works to make you whole after a crash. There are three main categories of damages. First, special damages, out-of-pocket costs like medical bills, lost wages, and future care expenses. Next, general damages. So this is the compensation that a person would receive for the pain, suffering, and life changes that they have experienced due to the injury. And finally, punitive damages. Now these damages are rare, but they're awarded in some extreme cases to punish bad behavior, like drunk driving. Let's look at each of these and break them down a little further. Special damages. Think of these as actual economic losses, money out of pocket, things you will have to pay for that have a true cost. These are the actual financial costs tied to your injury. They include medical expenses such as hospital bills, surgeries, medications, therapies, future treatments, co-payments, etc. Another area of special damages, lost wages. This is money you didn't earn because you had to miss work. It also includes your future loss of earning capacity. If you made $1,000 a week and missed 4 weeks, that's $4,000 in lost wages. But now if your injuries prevent you from returning to your previous job and you can only earn $500 a week now, that's a loss of $500 per week for the rest of your working life. Special damages also include other costs. What if your home needs to be modified? If you need a wheelchair or a disability accessible vehicle? All of these factors go into a calculation of special damages. Next, let's look at general damages. These are non-economic losses. These damages are less tangible, but they are very important. It's very difficult to put a price tag on these type of damages. You can't go to the store and figure out how much does a person's pain and suffering cost. But yes, general damages cover pain and suffering. This is the physical pain and discomfort your injuries cause you. And not just in the past, but in the future. It also includes emotional distress damages. If you're dealing with anxiety, PTSD, depression, or other psychological effects caused by the crash, covered by general damages. Another area is loss of enjoyment of life. When your injuries or the pain you experience prevent you from participating in hobbies, sports, or family activities in the way you used to, you should be compensated for that. Loss of consortium damages. These are the impact of personal relationships, loss of companionship or intimacy. If you're unable to have the same type of relationship with your wife or your children that you had before, this should be compensated. Since these damages don't come with a price tag, they're usually calculated using multipliers or per diem method or some other type of formula. It's very difficult sometimes to figure out exactly what general damages are. For example, a set amount per day of suffering, or a multiple of the total economic damages. How are the damages calculated? Well, economic damages are very easy to calculate. Total up your bills, receipts, using your financial records. You can get costs of any other items you may need. You figure that out, that's a financial, and that's the special damages. Non-economic damages are more subjective. They're often related to the injuries you suffered, the treatment you received, and how much treatment you'll need in the future. A common formula for general damages will look like this. If your medical bills cost $10,000, if your lost wages were $5,000, totals $15,000. For pain and suffering, let's multiply that by 2 times, so $30,000 for pain and suffering. So your total case value would be like $45,000. $30,000 for pain and suffering, $15,000 special damages, $45,000. Now, that's just an example. Your case could be worth more or less depending on multiple factors. Let's take a look at those factors that will impact the value of your case. Just like every person is not the same, not every case is the same. So here's some things that can increase or decrease the amount you receive. The severity of your injuries. Long-term or permanent injuries will typically lead to higher settlements. Injuries requiring surgical intervention will receive higher settlements or be valued at a higher number than those that just require conservative treatment like chiropractic care or physical therapy. Whether liability is clear. Strong evidence proving the other party was at fault will make it easier to win full compensation for you. Conversely, if some of the fault lies with you, your full value will be reduced by your percentage of fault. And here's a big one. how much insurance coverage is available. The at-fault party's policy limits may cap what you can be paid out. How does that work? Even though you may need surgery or have a permanent injury, if the other party's insurance is minimum policy limits, that's all you may be able to recover from that case. That's an unfortunate truth in these types of claims. Another factor that goes to determine how much your case is worth is going to be your credibility. Maintaining consistent statements and following your doctor's orders are going to strengthen your case. If your story continually changes, if your doctor's making recommendations and you don't follow them, that's going to negatively impact your case. So that's a very important factor in the ultimate value of your case. Here's something else: comparative negligence. We talked about it briefly earlier, but if you're partially at fault, your compensation can and will be reduced by your percentage of responsibility. Here's some other factors that will reduce how much you ultimately receive in a case. Look, if you skip medical treatments, ignore your doctor's advice, the insurance company will argue that you made your injuries worse, or that you yourself do not think they are that bad because you're not following your doctor's orders. As we just touched on, comparative fault. If you're found partially at fault, any amount of money you receive or are awarded will be reduced by the percentage of fault you have in the case. I want to turn briefly to punitive damages. Unlike other damages we discuss, punitive damages are not really meant to compensate you, but they're meant to punish the other party for reckless or intentional conduct. In Louisiana, punitive damages are very rare and they only apply in limited circumstances. We're talking like drunk driving cases or some other specifically enumerated cases by statute. If the law does not specifically provide that punitive damages are available, you will not be able to recover them. It's important to consult an attorney to see if any punitive damages may apply in your case. So how can a personal injury lawyer help? If you want to maximize the financial justice you receive as a result of the crash, working with an attorney is one of the smartest moves you can make. Here's why. Attorneys are skilled at gathering the evidence. Your lawyer should collect medical records, crash reports, witness statements, interview doctors, and make sure all of the evidence that supports your case is properly gathered and presented. They'll know how to calculate your damages. They'll make sure every dollar is accounted for, including any potential future expenses. They also know how to negotiate with insurance companies. These things they do every day. They know when an insurer is trying to lowball you, and they'll fight for you and what's fair. If the insurance company won't offer a fair settlement, we'll take them to court. Studies show that injury victims with attorneys recover significantly more than those who go it alone. So here's some final thoughts. If you or a loved one has been injured in a crash, don't settle for the first offer. The insurance company's goal is to pay you as little as possible. Our goal, to get you what you actually deserve for the injuries you sustained. To learn more about your rights and how to build a strong case, visit us at www.ljblegal.com, where you can download our free ebook on personal injury claims. While there, you can also schedule a free consultation with my team so we can discuss your case. If this video was helpful, hit that subscribe button for more legal tips, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Look forward to seeing you soon.